This episode is brought to you by our friends at Brooks Blooms, your all-in-one landscaping solution.
Brooks Bloom's three-step landscaping experience offers a seamless journey from design to construction and ongoing care, ensuring your outdoor space thrives year-round.
Visit brooksblooms.com today to embark on your landscaping journey, where every step is a step towards a vibrant and beautiful outdoor entertaining space.
This podcast is presented by Tab. Best time in sport with the best app in sport. Tab, we're on. G'day everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Ads and Dunks podcast. As always, joining me on the line, my best mate, Adzi Treloar. How you going, mate?
Going all right, mate. How you going?
I'm going good, thank you. It's been a interesting week, but it's nice to be sitting here a little bit earlier, as we've done the last few weeks. That early time slot for the potty is always nice. So as you can probably tell, the lighting in my room is Mickey Mouse, as Brado touched on before we jumped on. So nice to be here, mate. Yep. Looking forward to another good episode.
Yeah, you can probably tell that it's a bit dull here because I've got all the lights on and it's still nice and dark. The weather is definitely turning, which is great. We had a training session out at Whitten Oval today, and probably the worst conditions we've trained in all year is blowing a gale, which was pretty crazy. But it looks like it's a nice day up there for you.
Yeah, it is. It was actually, well, we'll go into our Bloom of the Week straight away because it was going to be my Brooks Bloom of the Week this week, and that is the Brisbane weather. 28 degrees here today and tomorrow. So that's my Bloom of the Week. I just feel like the weather's turned here. We barely even had a winter. So to be into that spring season already, it's so nice. So that was my Bloom of the Week, and I just wanted to get into it because we were talking about weather, so might as well.
Yeah, well, I had a couple Blooms of the Week. The other one is going to be in my voting for the Bloom and Dunklaw Award. So my other one was Via Sistina, my Bloom of the Week. Via,
boy, like it.
Mr. Brightside, probably my two favourite horses at the moment. And I am a sucker for a favourite, but if they're the class of the field, I'm all for it. And I did say last week, although Brightside and Another Will got scratched, I did like Via Sistina. And I'll tell you what, she worked hard. She worked really hard for the win, but as soon as she hit the straight, she looked unbelievable. And, what a champion horse she is. So that was a joy to watch on Saturday. So she's my Bloom of the Week.
I must admit, I wasn't on her because I was like, wet track. I'm thinking, this is not going to be a chance. But Tab actually had on the, were you watching it? So like Tab had on the screen prior to the race, you could get a $7 promotional max bet thing. So I didn't do that either. So it could have been up at another $100 if I had done that, which would have been nice. But unfortunately, I didn't back her in. But you're right, mate. It was an unbelievable run. Worked really hard, as you said, and it was just great to watch again.
Yeah, it's exciting because us keen horse racing watchers, if you want to call it, all the really good ones are coming out. Obviously, this week we'll talk about it on the Tab segment, but having Mr. Brightside and Fangirl, Another Will, they were all scratched. I think Tom Kitten might have been scratched as well from the Wink Stakes last week. They'll be racing this week, which is just exciting because it means spring is around the corner, which cannot wait for.
All the big dogs are coming back out. Well, we'll move on to our Tab segment then, Adzi. We'll jump straight into it. We'll flick the microphone heads over as we're talking about it. So we will go to the Memsie Stakes this weekend. And as you said last week, there was a few horses scratched from it. Who do you like in this one, mate? It's for obviously the scratched horses from last week are setting themselves for this run. So who are you keen on?
Yeah, they're all first up at them. Yeah, well, they are basically all first up. Another Will has a good first up record. She's, I think, 3 from 4. Mr. Brightside as well. And you know how much I love Mr. Brightside. So Fango, obviously, if she runs, but I just read before there might be a little bit of rain. But you just said to me no. So not sure. Depending on the weather, wouldn't be surprised if Fango has another late scratching, which would be disappointing. But no, I'm going to stick with Brightside. I'm always going to stick with Mr. Brightside. He had a good. I think he won first up last campaign. I think from memory, and I feel like he really gets up. Comes to the floor really quickly. So, I'm just going to back him in as I always do. I think a long play. I like Treasure of the Moment. I had a read up about Treasure of the Moment about how it's come back and it's looking really good. So, treasure the moment for a long play. But I'll stick with Mr. Brightside. What do you got?
Yeah, I like Brightside too, but I'll go against you with Fangirl. I've been against you before with Fangirl and managed to get the chocolates. But I do agree. I feel like Treasure the Moment's the other one that is a bit of a roughie that you said obviously already. So they're probably our three, I'd say. Fangirl, Brightside, and Treasure the Moment. So there you go.
Yep.
Hopefully they don't get scratched.
Too. Yeah, I hope none of them do, because the last 2 weeks we've given tips out. There's just been scratchings, which is just freaking disappointing. But Tom Kitten as well. Like, it's a great field. I just hope they all run. I love when the best horses all run against each other. I just think it's awesome. So hopefully they do.
And when conditions are good too, like you said, there might be a bit of rain around, but me reading my Weather Zone app, it says 10% chance of less than 1 mil. So,
right.
I mean, that's stuff all. And even the week leading up, it's still pretty good weather. So I don't think there'd be too wet. The track should be in good nick after a bit of sunshine, hopefully throughout the week. And we'll have a good race on Saturday, mate.
Fingers crossed.
Looking forward to it. Thanks to Tab as always for all their support. And as always, ads, gamble responsibly.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
All right, we'll move on to the footy side of things. Well, firstly, actually, how's your week been, Ads? Just talk to us a little bit about what you've got up to this week.
Oh, I mean, my week was based around, obviously, our game, which we were obviously the second last game. So, yeah, my week was okay. I didn't really do anything to write home about. I think all my NFL fantasy drafts are basically done. I've had all those, which I just can't wait for that to start. I've been counting it down since the Super Bowl, which is quite literally counting it down since the Super Bowl. NFL's like my whole life. So basically did all that. We've got our fantasy draft on Wednesday for the American Aces League, which is really exciting. Obviously, last week announced that Lachie Neale is joining our crew, which is really cool. And you can do the honours of saying the name. What is the great name that you come up with?
Duncan Disorderly. It wasn't me that came up with it. It was ChatGPT. I wrote in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I wrote into this ChatGPT. I was like, figure out a NFL fantasy name for Josh Dunkley, Adam Treloar, and Lachie Neale. And it spat out about 100 names. And I was like, make it more serious, but still a bit of a laugh. And then I sent all these names to you and Chalk. And there was some rogue ones on there, but we landed with Duncan Disorderly. So pick 7 we got 2, which is great.
Yeah, it's a good name. We've got some quality people join the American Aces this year. We've got Nathan Cleary, who is obviously one of the great players of rugby league of all time. Obviously, Marcus Bonampelli, which is another huge get, who's teamed up with Benny Graham. Alex Demonar's joined in, who's teaming up with Crosby, of all people, which is just so random. Clayton Oliver is another one who's joined. He's joined in with Stephen May and Michael Hibbard, which is exciting. Obviously, the Storm boys are back again. Boy Cordner's are back again, defending champion. So, really looking forward to that. The NFL is what I've got my eyes on. So, mate, that's basically what my week consisted of, and obviously watching the game on Sunday, which is very disappointing from all angles. What about you?
Yeah, similar, mate. Mine was based around our game too, which was Sunday night. So had a couple of days off during the week, but nothing really eventful other than work experience and a little bit of that early in the week. And then I actually I replaced our backyard grass yesterday. So relayed the grass all myself. So someone dropped off the grass at the front and I had to carry it out the back. Don't have a wheelbarrow or anything here. So I just carried it all out and did all that myself. So that was a bit of a workout, mate. But other than that, it's been a pretty cruisy week. But we might as well jump into the footy side of things, mate, because that's what probably everyone on here wants to talk about or listen to. So let's get into it, eh?
Yeah, well, I guess we'll start with, for those that obviously are in tune with the news now, the All-Australian squad got announced. So obviously not the team, but the 44 squad got announced, which is a huge achievement in itself. But you've obviously been named in that, which is it your second time in the All-Australian squad? Which I think you were back in 2019. Very stiff not to make that team that year. So firstly, congratulations. It's a huge achievement. I think someone who doesn't play for individual awards and someone who is so team orientated and has often been spoken about as the greatest teammate they've played with, and I can vouch for that, as you are. It's a huge achievement. So I want to congratulate you, mate. I'm always proud of everything you achieve, as we always talk about when we message each other before any game that we play and afterwards. And I hope you make the team. It'd be an amazing achievement if you make the team and can solidify yourself as an All-Australian, because you thoroughly deserve it. So well done.
Thanks, mate. As you said, it's not something that I play for. It is an honour, I guess, to be named in the squad, and I doubt I'll make the team, but we'll wait and see for Thursday night. But yeah, it's nice to get some recognition every now and then, mate. I don't play for it. I don't think about it when I'm running out there. It's more just trying to win games of football and play the role that I've been given that week to the best of my ability. So to get some recognition from the outside is nice, but maybe probably, as soon as this week's done, no one really talks about it until next year's All-Australian squad's announced and teams announced. So for me, it's all about what we're looking to do moving forward, and that's to obviously play finals and win finals footy. So looking forward to that challenge and what it brings for our group.
Yeah, I agree with everything you say, mate. But again, well done. Awesome achievement, and fingers crossed you make the team.
Thanks, mate. I've got one for you before we kick off, and it's a bit of a question for you too with regards to footy. Do you think we need to bring in fines, like more aggressive fines for staging?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I personally think it makes it harder for the umpires to adjudicate things when people are staging for free kicks or, falling off behind the ball without someone actually touching them or just giving them a little push. Like these little things that I'm seeing now in the game, I feel like it makes it hard for the umps because players are going down. If you're an umpire and you see someone go down, you're like, oh, shit, he's been hit hard. Like for him to go down, he's been hit hard. But then you see the replay behind the goals or on the broader vision and you're like, hang on. That should not be a free kick. I just feel like, it needs to come into the game where we need to be better than that as players, I feel.
Yeah, well, it's often the better players too. So the best players are the ones who get the free kicks more often than not, like the ones that might be the one who instigates the actual, altercation, and then they're the ones who receive it and get the free kick. Oh, no, I agree with that. I couldn't agree more. And I think now with our game and the amount of cameras we've got and all the angles we've got and whatnot, it's got to be a fine or something. It's got to be something because being a junior coach now and coaching obviously basically an under 18 group, I see what these kids do. They emulate what their idols do and what, from a playing point of view, but even from fighting and all that stuff, even the staging, there's a lot of that at junior level. There's a lot of that this year at 17 and a half. So I know that that's happening because of what happens at the elite level. And I couldn't agree more. I think it's something that we're always going to have an issue with because you can't really do anything in real time when the viewer at home is like, are you kidding? That's not a free kick because real time the umpire sees what they see. But with the sanction, I think it can certainly be something that can be looked at to be a little bit more harsher because, I don't necessarily like it. And I can think of a lot of players in my mind right now that are very good at that and they get a lot of free kicks for it. But it'll always be an interesting topic.
Yeah, it's a great point you bring up about the juniors because that's sort of where I'm coming from in terms of the development of our game. I don't want to be sitting back in 10, 15 years time watching AFL footy and just seeing people play for free kicks to try and get a score or kick a goal or whatever it is. So, that's why I raised the question because I was thinking about it over the weekend. I did see a few that were paid and I was thinking that's not a free kick. It should not be a free kick. So, but I'm coming from the umpire side too because I'm saying we as players are making it harder for the umpires to actually see these things because we're staging. So I feel like it's something we need to try and get out of the game. And if we can, it'll be for the betterment of it.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes hand in hand with one of my biggest frustrations in watching footy now. And again, I can think of players in my head who do it better than anyone. I ain't going to name names, who stage for free kicks and get free kicks and milk the system. I I can't stand it. I can't watch footy when I see players do that because it's just the integrity of footy. Like, that's not footy. There's certain degrees to the tackler has to be better and has to be able to adjust to what maybe the player's doing with their positioning. But when it comes to the guy with the ball genuinely trying to play for a high tackle or whatever it may be, it just boils my blood that some of these free kicks get paid when it's just, I just don't think, because when I grew up watching footy, watching my idols and trying to emulate the players that I love, there was none of that. Like, I can never think of footy in the 2000s when I watch footy that players would genuinely try and get free kicks like that. Like, I just can't think of it. And you go and watch it now, there's often in games where it happens. And I feel like you're probably the same.
I totally agree with you. And that's why I'm bringing it up, because I do feel like it's getting to a point now where it's so relevant that we need to talk about it. And I'd be curious to know what the fans out there think of it too, because I know everyone gets frustrated with the umpires, whether you're watching or whoever you're barracking for. But you got to think that on the other side of it, if we're throwing in all these other, things at them that aren't in the actual game, and it's we're not really helping them either. So I feel like we can play our part a little bit and talk about it and hopefully fix it a little bit better.
Yeah, and I think most players, if you were to ask or quiz AFL players, that would be one of their things they bring up for sure. I definitely think most of them would say what we're talking about is the staging and the playing for free kicks. But it'll always be a talking point because it's always going to happen. Hey, I just wanted to say, as I am looking on my phone, bit of a live update, although our potty gets released a day later, but Harley Reid's re-signed.
Really?
For the next 3 years at the Eagles. And
there you go.
That's like, you and I have spoken about how huge it was for St Kilda and Wanganeen Miller are re-signing and how it's great for them. Like, that is awesome. I love to see that. I think that's great for West Coast, and I think it's great for him. And you and I have been big supporters of his and think that he's a superstar, a budding superstar. And I certainly think that. So that's huge. I love the fact that he's staying.
Yeah, that's awesome. As you said, that was a live update. So that's great for West Coast. Good for him. I think it'll help him as a player and a person to grow over there in Perth and do his thing. Because, mate, being that young star sort of player already on the horizon, it's tough enough as it is. So I feel like for him, it's a good decision, because to be able to stay and really go to work now with the rest of the group and improve as an individual and as a team, I think it's going to be it's going to do wonders for him. So in 3 years' time, we'll reassess, I'm sure. But it's good for him that he's staying over there and working through it.
Yeah, what I love about it is he's going to always remember the tough times. And this is coming from someone who won 3 games in his first 2 years at the Giants. We won 3 games. And then we doubled that in our 3rd year. And in the 4th year, won 10, I think it was. And then the Giants have missed 1 final series since then, I think. And he's obviously been a part of 2 sides that haven't, 2 seasons, I should say, that haven't won as many games as he'd like. And I reckon he's going to remember that. And it's going to be great for him, great for his development. And hopefully for the Eagles in the next couple of years that are winning and getting further and further up the ladder and really appreciating winning. And I certainly feel like it goes a long way to these kids that come through and are stars like him. When they can learn that, it definitely helps them as they grow into their career.
Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. I think it's great. All right, let's move on to the round that was. Was there anything that caught your eye outside of our games?
No, obviously our games, your game, probably 2 of the bigger talking points, but it was quite unique going into our game that St Kilda were up when basically our game was about to start, which was pretty crazy because there was, ramifications there for the Giants and how close the Melbourne Collingwood game was. And again, that's obviously Freo and ourselves were looking at that, because I think if Melbourne ended up beating Collingwood and then the Saints ended up beating the Giants, whoever won out of us and Freo would have been 4th. So it was pretty crazy, the round, from a spectacle point of view. Obviously really disappointed with our result, but nothing really for me to like. I think the North Melbourne, the way that they finished their season, and as I've said and you've said, like, they've got a really exciting future, and the way they finished to push the top side right to the very end, it was awesome. It was great to watch. I watched most of that game And actually, matter of fact, I had a look at the All Australian squad, and it blows my mind that Tristan Cherry isn't in the All Australian squad of 44, because I just think he's so dominant for them and such a good player, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I feel like if you're a North Melbourne fan, you'd be pretty pumped because, yeah, there's been ups and downs, but you've got a really good core group of players who really showcased that on Saturday when they played, and hopefully they can take that momentum into the off season and really have a good year next year.
Yep, I totally agree, mate. I think that was a ripping game to watch too. I saw a fair bit of that as well. Speaking of all Australian squad ads, I want to ask you a question. Do you think there should be a minimum games played for the All Australian team?
Yes.
Squad, I don't know, but if you're going to do it for the team, you might as well do it for the squad. But should there be a minimum games played?
Yes, I think because this is the sad thing about our sport, is everything is driven by stats. And it's no matter what people say to me, no, it's not this and that. It is. It's driven by stats. People look at stats, and it's the driving factor in many decisions. So think about it. If you play less games, your stats would probably be more inflated, because average stats, that is, because less games, obviously don't have to worry about maybe games where you weren't as good. So to give you a long-winded answer, I think so, yes, because those players that have those inflated stats are going to look nicer than the other ones who've played 24 games, whatever it is, and worked their ass off. So, yeah, I do. I do think you should play. It's almost like the Rookie of the Year in the NBA. You've got to play actually, no, all the awards. It's not even the Rookie of the Year. It's all the awards. They take into account the amount of games that people have played. And I think it's a big thing. In my opinion, right, I think Blake Hardwick is the best lockdown defender, small defender in the competition. And I can't think of many times this guy has been beaten, like his direct opponent has beaten him. And he has stood out to me from a defensive point of view, from what Hawthorn do from a defensive system point of view, more than anything. But he's never going to be in the All-Australian team because he doesn't get the numbers like the high half backs do in our competition. All the high half backs, mate, they're on average probably leading the competition disposal. So, like, selectors aren't going to go, let's just say it's a high half back who's averaging 30 or Blake Hardwick. They've already got 3 high half backs averaging 30 in the squad. Blake Hardwick's there. There's another half back averaging 30. Oh, we'll just go to this one because he's having this many touches a game. He's having this many meters gained. He's having this many rebound 50s. Yeah, I agree. Offensively, they're dominant players, but what are we really selecting? Are we selecting, like, what are they doing numbers wise? Are we selecting a guy like Blake Hardwick who, is locking down his opponent whilst having a significant impact on the game?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it was a similar example a few years ago with Brian Myers when he had that goal assist year. And I don't think he ended up making it, but like what he was doing to set up goals was incredible, but he wasn't having the numbers, that wasn't kicking the goals, so he didn't get picked. I'm fairly sure that's what happened. So it's a similar thing in terms of what you're saying. Like the best lockdown defender in the league, whoever it is, should get an All-Australian blazer just because he's absolutely done his job every single week.
Yep. Well, I would love it if that's how one of the positions was selected. Like, I went on Instagram before and I seen, I think AFL put up their AFL writers team. So the writers at AFL.com have done their team. And like I look at the back six and they've got Jordan Clark, Bailey Dale and Naz, who all deserve it in my opinion because they're very influential for their team. But there's no lockdown defender there. The only defenders they've got there are the key defenders. So there's Cal Wilkie, who obviously gets a bit of the ball, mind you, but he's a key defender. Harris Andrews, key defender. Josh Worrell, key defender. So it's like, where's like the Blake Hardwicks? Where's the Starcevic, who I know he's obviously probably hasn't been at the level this year as he has in the past, but where's he? Like he's a nightmare to play on. I've heard Cody Waitman say some of his biggest challenges are playing on Starcevic because he wears him like a glove and he plays so well. So it's interesting because I'd love to know what most fans would think if they would like that. And also going to say that it would not be easy to be a selector. So I don't envy the selectors. It would be one of the most challenging things to do because there's that many that many scenarios. And then there's the players, which I think you can agree with, Joshy. Like, perfect example for me is Zach Merritt. There's a guy like Zach Merritt who, for 2 years, has been the heart and soul of Essendon and probably has, unfortunately, been a byproduct of how they've gone. Hence why he doesn't make the All-Australian team, because, you know, they've lost 12 in a row now. They haven't won as many games this year. Last year was the exact same. So he misses out, even though he's an elite player. In my opinion, he's a freaking superstar, mate. Like, he's as good as anybody in the league. So yeah, it's always an interesting convo, the All-Australian. And next week when we talk, I've got no doubt we'll probably have some talking points about the All-Australian team and who missed out. So yeah, it's an interesting convo.
Yeah, it is. And I'd love to hear what our fans have to say about it. So if you got anything, drop some comments on the YouTube or the potty, because we'll have a read of those. I might read a few of them out next week. Let's move on to our games. Yep. Let's go through yours first. What are your initial thoughts? What's the wash up? What's the next few days look like? Give the fans a bit of an insight.
Yeah, obviously really disappointing. Like, really disappointing. We obviously started well. It looked really promising at quarter time, but they, you know, it was a finals like atmosphere, finals like game. You don't have to be silly to know that contest is probably what wins you those games of footy. And it looked like, and I don't know the numbers because I don't look, but I felt like they dominated in the contested ball side of the game. I certainly feel like they were really good around the ball. Like, they were pretty dominant around the ball. They got some easy looks around the ball, which is really disappointing. But I think the fact that it's kind of the story of our season. It's been, you know, we're in the game. We never give up. Like, that's probably one thing I take away with this group and probably say proudly is that we've been in every single game. And last year you probably couldn't say that. There's games where we just weren't in any game. We weren't in some games from the get-go. It just was like, that's not us. That's not us. Where I think in every game this year, we were in it right to the end. And we were in this right to the last quarter. I know the scoreboard wasn't saying it, but we were still really pressing hard. And, you know, we kicked, I think, 30 points or 40 points in the last quarter. So we gave ourselves a chance. But it's just all in all a really disappointing result because we know the ramifications. And unfortunately, you know, as we're doing the podcast, it'll obviously get released probably whilst the Gold Coast and Essendon game is on. But unfortunately, we've got to rely on another team, which we did that a couple of years ago, having to win against another team, which, you know, let's be honest, I don't think anyone's going to be tipping Essendon to beat the Gold Coast. And the Gold Coast thoroughly deserve to be in this position and having a chance to make the final. So just been a really disappointing outcome. You know, it's a bit weird for us because we came in today like normal recovery day. The boys who played did their recovery stuff. The VFL boys who I'm a part of, obviously, we trained and are preparing like a normal final series. We've got a final series about to embark on because the boys finished top of the table and we play Frankston this Saturday. So it's a normal week for the guys. But yeah, it's kind of, you know, waiting to see what happens tomorrow and just going from there, really.
Yeah, I must say it was disappointing. I was backing you guys in because I got to the ground at halftime of your game and I'm sitting there thinking, nah, this is just going to come back. Like, I know you boys can score really quickly, so I was just backing you in the whole time. And to hear, I think it was the last quarter, I heard that you guys were coming back. I was like, shit, they're gonna get it done. But yeah, to not win, it would be very disappointing for your group. You don't have to go inside the rooms or anything. But what was everyone was obviously really disappointed. But was the chat in the rooms all right? What was everyone sort of saying? What were the emotions like down there?
Well, mate, you could hear a pin drop, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
boys were pretty flat. We all were flat. Everyone was there. The whole squad was there. We're obviously one squad. Everyone supports everyone. Just really flat. And then we obviously, Bevo addressed us and, you know, just spoke about the fact that we can be proud that we're, as I said, what I just mentioned before, we were always in the games of footy. That's one thing that, you know, I'm proud of within this group and we can be. We're always in the game. And you think back to many games, Collingwood round 2, obviously against you boys when we were up by about 40, ended up losing. Gold Coast up in Darwin, we got up late. Brisbane against you boys again, we got up late or we drew late. Like there's games where we were just in it right to the end. And, you know, you've got to take those games and take that feeling and take it with you to wherever we want to go. And if that is, you know, in a final series because Essendon have won, then hopefully it is, then take it. But if it's not, we've got to really fuel it for ourselves going into the off season and got to fuel it for the boys to know that we're this close with the group that we got, because boys have taken big strides. Like, you know, we look at the All-Australian squad members already. Like Bont obviously really hit the ground running once he got back. Libba and Ed's arguably one of the top 5 players in the competition. Sam Darcy, I mean, he missed half the year. Wait till he gets a full preseason and comes out and can really dominate from the get-go. Jordan Croft, I think we seen late, who is probably going to bring a lot of excitement to a lot of the fans because he has that athletic ability. And, and I think the obvious thing is we've just got to be able to finish games when we're in them better and do it against the better sides. And that's the reality for us, where I think we ended up finishing 2-9. Brado will know, but 2-9 or 2-10 against the top 8 sides, which ultimately probably doesn't deserve you to then make the finals if you can't do that. But as I said, it's now not in our control. If the Bombers can somehow pull off a miracle and win, then the boys prepare for a final. If not, we'll really lick our wounds and set ourselves up for a preseason.
So day in the club today, day off tomorrow, watch the game at home.
Yeah, it'll be just watch the game from home. I think we'll prepare like we're hopefully playing in a final series. Just want to always stay ready. But yeah, if we ultimately lose, then the exit interviews come. But the VFL boys move on, and that's really exciting. I mean, that's obviously what has publicly been spoken about with me, and I may as well mention it on the potty because that's where everything gets broken here when it comes to you and me. But it's obviously it's certainly exciting for the group. It's exciting for me. I mean, I've had probably the worst year in terms of my footy and being able to get my body right. But the last 12 weeks now, I think 10 weeks, has been pretty flawless for me. And I'm feeling really great. And the fact that I have the opportunity to now play games of footy and now, you know, with the group that has won 11 games in a row, now we're embarking on our own little finals campaign, and you know, the whole club's getting around it. It's really exciting. It's really, really exciting. We've got really healthy lists. We've got, I think, 17 or 18 listed AFL players that can play and some quality players. So from my perspective, I'm praying that, you know, the Bombers can get the job done and we can embark on an AFL finals campaign. But nonetheless, I'm really pumped about being able to run out there and hopefully bring back some silverware for the Footscray Footy Club, because that's where a lot of success or foundations to success start, and that's at the lower level. So really excited about that.
Yeah, and mate, I'm sure all the boys in the VFL team would be excited to be playing a final series with you. So don't take that for granted either, because I feel like your experience and what you'll bring to them, not only as a team but them as individuals, is going to be huge. So I'm actually looking forward to watching you. If obviously Essendon do lose, that is.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing you lead those boys, and hopefully it's Brisbane Bulldogs in the granny and we can get down and watch it and cheer on both us. Cheer on you and then cheer on our boys as well.
Yeah, no, it would be pretty cool. I mean, I've never won a premiership at any form of football, as you know, so it's a really good opportunity for us to take it a week at a time. We've got a really good side this week. Frankston are very good, very, very good. They bring a really strong fan base as well, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll be watching that one. All right, we'll move on to my game before we just give our Bloom and Dunkler award votes. Obviously a good win for us. Wish we had have kicked a bit straighter. I was guilty of that too, which is frustrating. I'll go down to the park tomorrow to have a few shots of goal, I reckon, after those shots. But all in all, I thought, you know, it was a finals like game, similar to your game. Watching first half, like just the contest goes up, you know, the physicality. Just there's so much on the line, and it was one of those games, obviously fighting for a top 4 spot. So to be able to come out on top against arguably the most informed team in the comp was really important for us. So yeah, very impressive, and yeah, everyone was really pumped after the game because we also played in Zorks and Charlie Cameron's on it too with their 250 and 300 game milestone respectively. So yeah, good win for us, mate, and look forward now to the final series and what that brings. And I'm sure it's going to be another challenge for us.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously, as you know, I support you and support the boys when I can. So yeah, obviously look like a finals like atmosphere. It must be something that you now, I guess, can take some confidence off the fact that you're able to finish a regular season when there were people who doubted you guys a lot throughout the year. Like even on the weekend, I've seen there was experts out there that were tipping Hawthorn, and rightfully so because they're probably the informed team of the comp. But it must be something that you guys can now carry into the fact that you've got a double chance. You play against Geelong in a week's time, at a familiar stadium at the MCG where you've been able to knock them off a couple of times before. It must be something that you guys take a lot of confidence out of this game going into now a huge final series for you.
Yeah, for sure. I think being able to finish against quality opposition too, like we played Freo at home and the Hawks, as you said, one of the best teams up here. Like they're no easy feats, and to be able to get both those wins realistically is given us a lot of confidence coming into the finals. I think I feel like the way that we are playing at the moment, we're starting to scratch the surface of what we're capable of. Like if we do kick straight on the weekend, what does the game look like? Against Freo, it was a really good outing in hostile environment, and to be able to go over there and do that was really impressive. So yeah, we're really looking forward to the challenge ahead, and we know the Cats are flying at the moment and have been all year. So it's a great opportunity for us to go down there to Melbourne and hopefully get a win. But it's just an important time of year to really, sharpen the axe, mate, and get ready for what's to come because it's a whole new season. Like points, percentage, none of it matters now. It's a whole new season. We're all 0-all, and it's whoever gets there at the end gets to lift the cup. So fingers crossed we can, put our best foot forward and be there.
Yeah, well, no doubt you guys would be leaning on the experience you had last year because you actually finished outside the top 4 last year. So it's a bit of a better position to be in now. So that'll be exciting for you. What does the week then look like for you?
Now, we've got a few days off at the moment. So I think we go back to training Thursday, and then we have Friday off, Saturday training, and then we'll watch the VFL because they play at home this week against Richmond, I'm fairly sure, which would be a good game to watch.
You do, yeah.
And then we're back in Monday, so Sunday off, Monday for a normal Friday night game. So we'll head down to Melbourne Thursday, I assume, Thursday morning, captain's run down there, and then get ready for a big Friday night.
Oh, it's good, mate. I'm looking forward to it. And as always, our fans love watching success out of the two of us, and the success always is your way, not my way. So we'll always be cheering.
Could be your way still.
Yeah.
Could be your way still this year. You never know.
Yeah. We'll be cheering you on, mate, and looking forward to building up next week on the potty.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. All right, let's get into our Bloom and Dunklaw Award votes.
My one goes to Darcy Wilson. Thank you. I watched this game because it was before our game, and I know it's in a losing side, but he was unbelievable. Anytime a midfielder can kick 5 and have an impact, the way he did was unreal. And again, shows that his capabilities. He's been in and out of the side, and he was someone everyone was really excited about at the start of the year. So hopefully he can take that into the off-season and build next year. So here's my one. Zach Butters, my 2. I just thought he was enormous in Ken Inkley's last game. I thought he was unreal. So damn good, and he's a superstar. And my 3 goes to who my other Brooks Bloom of the week was going to be, and it's Scott Pendlebury. And nice. The reason why it's Pendles is obvious. I think anyone who watched the Collingwood game can just firstly see his leadership out there. And his last quarter, I don't know what position he was playing. It kind of looked like he was playing as an extra halfback. But I reckon he had 10 touches, and 10 of those disposals were right decisions / scoring involvements. And I just thought he was enormous. He's someone that just continues to amaze me and amaze everyone. But yeah, I think he thoroughly deserves the final 3 votes of the year, actually, because there's no more voting after this.
That's true. Brado's going to have to tally it up. We're going to have to put out a little post saying who won our Bloom and Dunkler award. I couldn't agree more with you about Pendles. I thought that was, you could see it happening in the game. He was taking kickouts. He was just being that general behind the ball and setting up all the opportunities that they had. So credit to him. I didn't have him in my votes. Probably should have. But my one vote went to Riley Philthorpe for the Crows.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome.
He's just a big brute animal. Like he's just killing it in the contest at the moment. I feel like he's best footy's ahead of him. He's only just scratching the surface on what he's capable of too. So that's scary for the opposition. My 2 votes went to Errol Goulden. Had a big game over in Perth against the Eagles, and 3 went to Zach Butters. I was watching that Port game. I think a lot of people would have been hoping for the send-off for Kenny and Boakey like it sort of played out, and I feel like that game was one that will go down in everyone's mind as, you know, one of the better games between obviously those two clubs. But for Kenny and Boakey, to be able to send them off in that manner is just really important for not only the Port Adelaide Footy Club, but our game in general, because they have been huge servants of our game. And I was rapt for both of them to get that win.
Yeah, I agree. Zach Butters is a superstar. And Ken Hinkley, I think, came out and spoke about his love for him and just said how he thinks he's the best player in the competition, or arguably. And I probably wouldn't argue with that for someone who is so small in stature but plays like his life depends on it every week. It's someone that you just want to play with.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. All right. Previewing this week game. There's only one. It's the Gold Coast game. Who are you tipping, mate?
I'm tipping the Gold Coast.
You got to tip Essendon.
Yeah, I mean, of course I'm hoping the Bombers. I mean, that would just be amazing. But I cannot see a world where the Bombers beat the Gold Coast.
Question.
It's
question.
All eyes will be on it. Yes.
So I saw a thing saying if the Suns win by more than 6 goals, they will go to Perth and play Freo. If they win within 6 goals, they go to Sydney to play GWS.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Is that something that you think would be on their mind?
No, I don't. No, I think you would know.
Win?
Yeah, I think you would know the. I think you know know that, and know that if you were to win by more, you're obviously playing Freo. But I don't think that'll change the way you play or anything. If you're dominating and you're winning convincingly, you won't take the foot off the pedal. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's a little trap that you could fall into by thinking because whether you don't want to play GWS or you want to play Freo, if you start thinking about all the outcomes and the results, then it'll take away what you're actually doing in the moment, and that's where Essendon's opportunity might lie. So I'm actually intrigued to watch this game because I think it might be a bit closer than what everyone's saying, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it because it is the last game of the year. It's going to be a big build-up. There's obviously finals ramifications on the line. Gold Coast want to make their first final series. You boys are obviously in their spot at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting watch.
Will be interesting and all eyes will be on it. So I'm looking forward to
it. All right. I've got a curly question this week before we bring Brado on. So my curly question is, do you wear shoes into someone's house or not if they don't ask you to take them off?
Yes.
Straight in?
Yes. Yeah. You usually know because when you walk to the door and if there's nothing outside, then you know, okay, all good. And then if you walk in and you see there's shoes there, I will take my shoes off. But if there's no view of shoes, no, I'll just walk in.
Yep. What about you, Brado?
It changes based on age. When you're a kid, and obviously your parents teach you manners. So when you go over to someone's house, you're going to your friend's house. They're also a kid. They don't own the house. They don't run the house. So you do it as a show of good manners to the family, to the parents of your mate. But when you get older, you're the adult and you're going to see the other adult. So you know the person that, runs the household. So you obviously already know when you go there, it's like, Dazza doesn't mind if I wear shoes. He's wearing shoes. That's also another thing. If you glance down and they're not wearing shoes, well, obviously you take your shoes off. Well,
Does
if
the
you
house matter?
obviously,
you-
yeah, you look at Dunks' nice house. It's probably in the 8-figure region, and he's got his plush white Persian carpet in the background. Like, obviously, I'm not going to take my poor people's shoes and walk. I don't even know if I'd get an invite. You'd probably have to
Mate,
hose me off
Shoes
out
on
the
it.
front before I can come into the house. Oh, shoes in.
shoes on in my house, mate. Yep, shoes on. I couldn't care less about shoes being off or on.
What would
my
you say,
house.
Brado, if you walked into one of your mates' house and you know he's a pig? Like, say he's just a pig and
Most of my mates.
leaves everything everywhere and everything's dirty, and you walk in and he goes, "Oh, take your shoes off."
No chance. Sounds like I'll catch something walking around his house with no shoes on. What about what are the situations where you can go barefoot down the street?
Oh,
Like barefoot in a supermarket. Like
nah.
it can only
Can't
be a
do that.
coastal town, can't it? You're not seeing anyone walk around
Coastal
barefoot
town.
in the CBD.
And actually, your theory of how old you are. So, if Georgie's just being a menace and she doesn't want to put her shoes on, and she's
Yeah,
we'll go
yeah,
to the
that's fair.
supermarket, yep, she can have her shoes off. I can't be bothered telling her.
That's a good call. Yeah, I think coastal towns is where it's prime.
Well, okay, is that shirt off as well?
Well, not me.
When is it?
You guys, yes. I think
Yeah.
that's just a question of how good your rig is.
Coastal towns, mate. You go coastal towns. You go to Noosa or you go Byron, and it's hot weather, and you go into the stores along the beach. Everyone's got their shirt off. Is
Yeah.
that fine?
I think it's disgusting that some guys out there think that it's fine to run around. Like when you go for a run, take your shirt off and run no shirt. Like, mate, we don't want to see it. And like, what's your excuse? Oh, I got sweaty. Yeah, we all get sweaty, mate. It's put your shirt back on. When you go
So
for a
Brado
long
officially hates
run,
everyone in Noosa because that's all it is in Noosa.
when you go for a long run, like when do you guys still need, because you're doing big kilometers each training session, how come you don't need nipple tape?
Don't know.
Are your nipples just used to it now? You've built
Yeah.
up a nipple tolerance.
Mm,
I actually think
Yeah.
that's a thing.
it is
I think that's a thing.
nipple tolerance.
Yeah, like you get used to the rubbing of your clothing
On your
On your
nips.
nipples.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a
yeah. I
sad
agree.
world. I've still got nice little supple, fragile nipples. And you guys got the hard ones.
Oh.
I've got a couple of questions. Have you got
Yeah.
do you have one for us this week, Ads, or are you just moping around?
No, I'm not moping around, mate. No, I've got one for us. All right, ready? This
Yeah.
is a great one. Would you rather win the lottery but have to spend it all in one day, or triple your current salary forever?
Jeez, you
So
guys are
triple
all right,
your
aren't
current
you?
salary, Brado.
You triple your
Forever.
salary, you basically won the lotto anyway, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if they gave me the entire lotto winnings and I had a day to
You've got
spend
to
it,
spend it today.
it would be my last day on earth. I'd be done, wouldn't I?
Probably.
Give us a figure.
That's
All
120
right, hang
million
on.
or something, wouldn't it?
Thursday lottery.
Thursday
Let's
Powerball.
see. 50 million jackpot by the lot. There you go. 50 million.
Wouldn't even pay off Dunks' mortgage.
Oh, wow. Well, you've got to spend that like now,
If it's-
Brado, or
If
you're
it's
tripling your salary.
100 million, if it's 100 million, I'd be taking the lotto because you could buy as many investments as you wanted, cash in one day, no worries, and then be sorted.
No, so we know the context. Just how much do you earn per year, you two? And then I'll do the quick calculations.
Yeah, no comment.
Ads, you can say yours, Ads.
I've got nothing for you. You tell us, Brado. What are you tripling your salary?
Yeah, no, Jesus. It's not much, is it?
So you're winning the lottery.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's win-win. Can't
50
complain
mil.
either way.
50 mil.
50 mil. I'll
Yep.
yeah, and then I'll give it straight to Dunks as my investment broker, and then he can spend it over as long as he wants.
Sounds smart.
We've done it.
You've got
Done
it
it.
sweet.
That's
You've got
it.
it
You
organised.
cracked the system.
Love it.
We've done
Well
it.
done, mate.
And he'll probably
Well
take
done.
some whopping margin on it.
Nah, I wouldn't do that to you, Brado.
Oh,
Look after you.
thanks.
What do you got for us,
What
Brado?
do
You
you-
said you had a couple of
What are
questions.
your questions?
Yeah, so I did want to mention that if Essendon do win, obviously the only team you've beaten in the top 8 this year, that being the Bulldogs, has been GWS. You've beaten them twice. And that would be the first week of finals. you'd go up and verse GWS. So
Ooh.
you'd be licking your lips there if they get that done. And I think we should do a big awards ceremony next week for the Dunklaw award.
Dunklaw.
Lumen
Yep.
Dunklaw. And we'll find out who won the tipping because I got to go back and fill a few holes on the tipping.
I'm keen to find out about this. I'm
That's
keen to see the Blooming Dunklaw, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
me too.
pretty big raffle, that one. I want to know if you had to pick 3 key forwards under 24, who are you picking?
How old's Riley Thilthorpe?
23.
Okay, so he's 1. How old? Oh, Sam Darcy, that's 2.
Logan Morris, 3. They're my 3.
Logan Morris.
Logs is a good one. How old's Georgiades?
Yeah, he's under. He's only 23.
Because I'm
Cadman,
biased.
21.
Ooh, he's a good player too.
Dick Tracy, 23.
Yeah,
There's
he's a good
lot.
player too.
There's a lot, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, he's a good player. Nah, I'll stick with the first 2 that I said, and I agree with Josh because Logan's my boy as well. So I think everyone would say Thilthorpe and Darcy. No
Yeah.
brainer. It's the third one that is you could, put a blanket over the rest of them, but I'll go Logan Morris
But
as well.
if we're like choosing this from a positional point of view, you need someone agile, you need someone that can run and get up the ground. That's still a good overhead mark, and Logs is that. So that's why I chose him. The only other one
Darcy ticks all that box too.
Yeah, I know Das does, but because you've got your 2 keys really at home. The only other one that I was thinking of was Cadman. He's the other one that would be in that bracket too. So
I'm trying to think of the other, if there's anyone we're missing, but we're not, are we? No.
Hey, if you're talking about selling tickets, put big Paddy Voss up there and clear out the Ford 50 and just have him go to work because he's got to be up there with one of my favourite players to watch right now.
Oh, his celebration,
Coney.
one of the one that he kicked. We were laughing, actually, probably shouldn't have been, but he kicked one and he ran about 60 metres. It was so funny. That's good, Brado. I like when you ask those questions. Too bad we've waited till week 24 to start doing it, but I really like it.
It's the footy stuff. It's a bit dry, isn't it? But it's good that we hit it up.
No, it's good.
Well, I have another couple. I won't drag this out. I don't like the airtime. But I just want to know because you always say you're not a big fan of stats being the number one thing that people look at.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, is there stats that you players put more weight on? Like if someone like a general punter looks at it and goes, geez, Sheasel had 50 or this player had like 40 or whatever.
Yep.
Like they're shallow kind of stats because you could be getting those anywhere. But is there stats that when you scroll through, you look at a specific stat and you go, geez, that guy's doing all right?
One that I do like is score involvements. I love score involvements. I think it's a big thing. But then again, that kind of defeats a lot of the defenders because a lot of defenders don't have score involvements unless you're a high half back who gets involved. But like I'm talking like the Blake Hardwicks, as I said, and the Harris Andrews and all that stuff. But I really like score involvements. I think that's a big thing. And I like 1%ers because like 1%ers / pressure points. I don't know if that's a thing, but you see it when it comes up usually in meetings and whatnot. I'd imagine most teams would show it to the individual and you see what you do. I think that's awesome. But yeah, I think score involvements from like an offensive point of view would be my favorite one.
I'm going to say that I feel like stats are relatable to each team. So, for example, some teams don't play a high possession game, whereas other teams
Geelong.
do.
Yep.
Geelong, good example.
Big one,
so
Geelong.
Geelong, they don't muck around with the ball at stoppage. They like to just get it forward and get it into their keys and Jezza and that down there. So they have, I don't know, I haven't really looked at the team stats, but they would be one of the lower disposal teams, I think, in the comp because of that. So that's where, like some of their players, if they were playing at the Doggies, which is a high possession team, their stats might be inflated like you were talking about before, Ad. So
Always, yeah.
I think it should be looked at as a relevancy to the team and and what kind of level they are as a total disposal team, if you're looking at disposals. The other one I kind of look at is contested possession and your weight of uncontested possession, whether that's like how even that is, because sometimes you can get players that can be all outside or a midfielder that's all inside or vice versa. So yeah, that's what I look at.
I like the weight. I like the weighted in contested uncontested, but I have a bit of a question mark on contested possession. I'm not the biggest fan. I am to a degree, but I don't think so. For instance, right, if you're in the ruck and you're a midfielder, right, and you're a big midfielder and you take the ruck, you try and body the bloke out the way, you grab the ball and you blindly handball it, that's considered a contested possession. So at the end of the game, it's not shown what that handball did. And largely that's just like get the ball out, might not lead to anything. At the end of the game, this person might have had 30 touches and 25 contested, and so, oh my God, what a game he's played. He's had 25 contested. No one looks at that. And there's a lot of players that do that.
Yep.
So
it's
I'm
relevant.
not the biggest fan of that. Yeah. The one that I don't like the most, you really got me on a tangent here. I'm really excited. I don't like kickouts, as I think everyone knows. I shouldn't be a stat because it's really inflated. And one of the biggest
stat.
Should be
its own stat. Yes.
Yep. And it shouldn't count towards disposals. And the other one, probably the one I really don't like, is meters gained. Because again, that is that's going to be weighted in favor of someone who is a player who gets the ball, kicks it long.
With meters gained, would there be certain players that you would look at, and if they gained plus 500 meters gained, you'd be a hell of a lot more concerned than other players getting plus 500 meters gained?
Well, yeah, because I'm going to say like a true meters gained player for me who I think's great is Bailey Dale. He's in my team because a lot of his meters gained is kicking, like his precise kicking. Like he's really good with his kick. Dane Zorko, another meters gained player because his kicking is elite. So if you're watching a game of footy and you're seeing Dane Zorko's meters gained to 600 meters, like you probably know that is him getting the ball, turning, facing up and lacing someone 40 meters out or getting a handball receive, hitting someone in the time and space. You know that he's going to be effective with that play. So that to a degree, yes. But when you can't compare it to a contested ball beast like Josh, if you bring up Josh, right? He's a beast inside. He's going to get first possession, but he's going to give it to his teammates. He's not going to kick the ball long. At the end of the game, if they reference Josh and be like, yeah, he had a good game, but his meters game weren't high, it's like, well, it's not relevant because it's not the type of player that he is. So, yeah, that's where my frustration is with the meters game.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it sometimes is something that players think about that they want to chase.
Oh, yeah, mate. Yes.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. But this has been a good podcast. We've had some really good talking points on this podcast.
Deep chats.
So,
and we broke some news.
Yeah.
You need to ask these questions more often, Brado.
Best butt exercises. How do I get that big Adam Treloar bunda?
What would be?
Top 3.
Single leg hip thrust for sure. My fingers here are my knees, right? Can you picture that, Brado?
Yeah, I got you.
So your butt's the back here. You just raise your butt up. You lay on the side, raise your butt up like that.
Yep.
So
I'm going to do this
that's
one
like the sideways, or the clams as they used to be called back in the day.
Clams.
There's probably a fancy name for it now. And I'll leave Josh to come up with the last glute exercise.
Just a double leg glute bridge. Righto, there you go.
There you go.
Or a scooter on the reformer. Do that.
Yep.
I used to get nice vision of ads bending the barbell over his back with about 400 kilos on it.
Me and Brody Grundy.
Don't do that one anymore.
That's all Brody now. If you see Brody at Sydney in some of his socials, he still does that, which is a credit to him.
You could generate some hip thrust power that way. Anyway, that's good.
I know where this is going.
That's all checked off.
We'll wrap it up. Thanks, Ads. Thanks, Brado. Another good episode. We'll see everyone next week.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Brooks Blooms, your all-in-one landscaping solution.
Brooks Bloom's 3-step landscaping experience offers a seamless journey from design to construction and ongoing care, ensuring your outdoor space thrives year-round.
Visit brooksblooms.com today to embark on your landscaping journey, where every step is a step towards a vibrant and beautiful outdoor entertaining space.